Your dreams take flight, pages turn, a magical night. Adventures waiting, come take a look. Join us now in the storybook. Whispers of tales.
The Not-So-Wise Little Rabbit. Once upon a time, in the Whispering Woods, there lived a little rabbit named Oliver, who thought he knew everything. Oliver had fluffy brown fur, twitchy ears, and a tiny white tail. He hopped around the forest with his nose in the air. "I am the wisest rabbit in all the land," Oliver would announce to anyone who would listen. The other animals of Whispering Woods, Maple the owl, Felix the fox, Daisy the deer, and Gus the turtle, were not impressed. Maple the owl was truly wise. She had lived for many years and spent her nights reading books by moonlight. Felix the fox was clever and quick. He solved problems with smart thinking and always helped his friends in need. Daisy the deer was gentle and observant. She noticed things others missed and understood the language of plants. Gus the turtle was patient and thoughtful. Though slow-moving, his mind was quick, and he never rushed important decisions. One sunny morning, Oliver hopped to the center of the forest clearing. "Friends, I challenge you all to a wisdom contest." The animals exchanged glances. Maple blinked her big eyes. "What kind of contest do you propose, young rabbit?" "3 challenges to prove who's wisest. First, we'll find the sweetest berries. Second, we'll cross Bubbling Brook. Third, we'll solve a mystery." The animals agreed, though not because they wanted to prove themselves wiser than Oliver. They hoped he might learn something important. "The first challenge begins now," Oliver declared. "Whoever finds the sweetest berries in the forest by sundown wins." Oliver hopped away immediately, rushing toward the nearest berry bush without a second thought. Maple flew to her tree to consult her berry book. Felix sniffed the air carefully. Daisy listened to the bees. Gus simply smiled. Oliver stuffed his cheeks with the first red berries he found. "These must be the sweetest. I'll win for sure." But soon, Oliver's mouth puckered and his eyes watered. The berries were terribly sour. He had chosen too hastily. At sundown, everyone returned. Maple, Felix, and Daisy each brought different berries. Gus arrived last with tiny blue ones. "These berries grow only where the morning sun touches the riverbank," Gus explained. "They take patience to find." Everyone tasted Gus's berries. They were perfectly sweet. Even Oliver had to admit they were the best. "The second challenge is tomorrow," Oliver announced, trying to hide his disappointment. "We'll cross Bubbling Brook using only what we find." That night, Oliver didn't sleep. He was determined to win the next challenge and prove his wisdom. Morning came, and the animals gathered at Bubbling Brook. The water rushed quickly over slippery stones. "Begin," shouted Oliver, immediately jumping onto a large leaf. "I'll float across like a boat." But the leaf wasn't strong enough. It sank immediately, and Oliver had to paddle back to shore, soaking wet. Maple flew across easily with her wings. "Not fair," cried Oliver. "The rest of you have to cross without flying." Felix found some sturdy sticks and vines. He carefully built a small raft that carried him safely across. Daisy used her knowledge of the forest. She walked upstream to a narrower crossing where stepping stones appeared. Gus withdrew into his shell and floated across like a little boat, using his legs as paddles when needed. Oliver tried again with a bigger leaf, then some twigs, then by jumping from stone to stone. Each attempt ended with a splash. Finally, Oliver sat on the bank, dripping and dejected. "I don't understand why I keep failing," he sighed. "Perhaps," said Maple gently, "wisdom isn't about knowing everything already, but about learning from others and from mistakes." Oliver's ears drooped. "The third challenge is tomorrow. We must solve the mystery of the missing honeycomb from Bee Meadow." That night, Oliver couldn't sleep again, but this time, he was thinking about what Maple had said. Morning arrived, and the animals gathered at Bee Meadow. The bees buzzed angrily around their empty hive. "Begin," said Oliver, but he didn't rush off this time. Instead, he watched what the others did first. Maple examined the ground carefully. Felix sniffed for scents. Daisy spoke softly to the flowers. Gus studied a trail of honey drops. Oliver approached Gus. "May I follow with you?" he asked politely. "I think I could learn from your approach." Gus smiled. "Of course. I'm following these honey drops. See how they form a path? Let's go slowly and observe." Together, Oliver and Gus followed the trail. Oliver was tempted to rush ahead, but remembered to be patient. The honey drops led to a hollow log. Inside was the missing honeycomb and a small bear cub with a sticky face. "The mystery is solved," Oliver exclaimed, "but I didn't solve it alone. Gus taught me to be patient and observant." The other animals joined them. Together, they helped return the honeycomb and explain to the bear cub why stealing was wrong. Back at the forest clearing, Oliver addressed his friends. "I've been foolish, not wise. I thought I knew everything already." "True wisdom," said Maple, "comes from knowing what you don't know, and being willing to learn from others." "And from making mistakes," added Felix, "but then learning from them instead of making the same ones again." "And from observing carefully before acting," said Daisy with a gentle smile. "And from having patience," Gus concluded. "Some lessons take time to understand." Oliver nodded. "From now on, I'll be the not-so-wise little rabbit who's trying to learn something new every day." And that's exactly what he did, discovering that the journey to wisdom is long but wonderful when shared with friends.
Join us now in the story.